It's life changing.
It's called To Inspire with best-selling author and motivational speaker, Dr. Sylvia Cole. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock here on the legendary KYOK, 1140 AM, 92.3 FM, and KYOK.org.
I'm Ben Taggart, and you are listening to The Lunch Break.
All radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the hosts, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! Let's go to the house! Let's go to the house! When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Ball is getting hit.
Hey, Sydney. Hey, Keith.
Football now.
Hey, Kimberly.
Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time.
My camera's foggy. I hate my camera.
Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready. Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking
Hate
about
my
the Saints.
camera.
You know, all these
Foggy.
Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up the chin straps. It's embarrassing.
Very foggy.
Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from that. He's a man. He can be here just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man.
Kimberly, you never call me beautiful.
When I step on the field,
Sydney, she never calls me beautiful.
this is what it feels like. Oh, my bad.
Rocking Grambling State.
What time is it? Game time. What time is it?
Gotta give Grambling State some love. Hey, Heavenly Hughes. Love. How are you, love?
What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready. Let's go to the house.
Let's get this one in, y'all. Let's get it in.
It's a wrap. Game over.
Nah, this game is just getting started. A little late. Weather is horrible in certain parts of Houston. I was coming up I-10 from the Katy area. Bad. I mean, literally bad. Traffic. It was one of those deals where it wasn't raining on part of I-10, and then you hit this wall of rain, and it was just crazy. And, you know, everybody appropriately stops and slows down and what have you. Then came around 610 and same thing, just real bad, everybody driving real slow. And then you get on 45 and the sun is shining. I felt like Luther. The sun is shining, there's plenty of life. Yeah, I mean, it was just like that, night and day. But again, if you're in the greater Houston area, we are expecting some showers to come over from different areas. I think the showers are coming from the east of us, and that's going to be today, tomorrow, and possibly even on Sunday. Sydney Brown says, I'm in Jersey Village. It came through, but passed. Yeah, just like that. I mean, I was like, literally, I'm not going to make it when I was on I-10 because it was raining sheets. It was raining sideways. And then I get on 610. It's still bad. And you got to be careful on 610 because it has a couple of low-lying areas. And then I get on 45, ain't nothing happening. Big D, what's up, David Baptiste? Hey, bro, call me. Tell me what you're going to ruin for me today. You ain't ruined nothing for me in a while, bro. I mean it, David. A lot to talk about, too, man. If you get a chance, holler at me. 281-453-1000 is the number to dial. 281-453-1000 if you want to get in today. Again, thought about having some special guests to come in and talk about the situation in Washington. With the NFL football team in Washington. And if you're still calling them by the nickname, you just want to use that nickname because they don't have a name right now. They retired their nickname. So stop using it. It was just an insensitive nickname in the first place, and they've retired it. So you just want to be, Washington, blah, blah, blah. The NFL team in Washington until they pick a name. All right. But anyway, big breaking news. Kimberly Armstrong was the one that put me on up that there was going to be breaking news coming out of Washington, and it had nothing to do with the name. It was all about the bad behavior. 15 women reported sexual harassment while working for the NFL team in Washington. And it's crazy stuff. We'll get into some of the allegations. Dan Snyder, wow, bro. He holds himself out as the guy who was the biggest fan of Washington, and then he bought the team, and he's been seeking a title ever since. Sounds like he should have been seeking some nasty men in his organization. And there's nothing that ties him to any of the bad behavior, but still, I mean, I am the head guy in charge in another part of my life. And in that other part of my life, if something goes down, it falls on me. I'm trying to be apolitical, but you cannot be the head of something and say, I hold no responsibility. I take no responsibility. I know there'll be some people that say that, and I feel like they should take those words back. You can't be in charge and get the credit and then be in charge and not take the blame. So Keith Hennig said, I think he's seeking a buyer for the team. I'm not going to say he should. In fact, if there were owners that need to, pony up and sell their team, I would start with homegirl down in Atlanta with the Atlanta Dream. She needs to give that team up. She's not invested from a mental and a unified state. She's not. And I get it. She's got every right to own the team and have her beliefs. I get it. It's a fine line. But don't be mad if one day those women down there at the Atlanta Dream decide we ain't playing for you. You got a right to say what you want to say, think what you want to think. Everyone wants to come up with a term for everything. Like everything's got to have a term. It's just like when bad behavior happens. So what is this going to be called? Harassment gate? You don't have to give it a name. It's bad enough. Cancel culture. Oh, it's a cancel culture. Oh, the cancel culture is trying to come after. It doesn't have to have a name. People are just tired of when you do stuff that's just insensitive to other people. Maybe you should go and do other stuff. If you're that upset about them wearing Black Lives Matter on the jerseys of the WNBA players and you're a co-owner of the team, then maybe you should go do something else. We don't want to upset you. It's not cancel culture. It's just, hey, we're grown. We're tired. People are tired of being marginalized. People are tired of being discounted. It's just, I don't get it. So if she's that unhappy, she's got options. Put that bad boy for sale, you're going to make millions. You ain't going to make billions, but you're going to make millions. So it's the same thing with Dan Snyder. I'm not saying he should sell the team. I don't think we have enough information yet to know what he had going on. So I'm going to be like some other folks. When you see those videos and you're like, oh, I'd like to know more information before I just jump to conclusions. I'd like to know more information before I just say Dan Snyder should sell the team. I'd like to get more information. But if we find out that he's been running a good old boy network and they've had locker room banter going on, where you can say some of the things that have been said and caught on video and audio and nobody made a big deal about it. If he had that going on in the nation's capital as an owner of the professional football team that he owns, then guess what? He's got to go the exact same way Jerry Richardson went. Remember Jerry Richardson, when he owned the Carolina Panthers and he was making women turn around so he could see, their bodies. He was taking them to lunch and reaching across them so that he could, touch them, the front of their bodies. Got to take a quick break. I'll be right back.
cable bill forever or get new satellite internet where cable can't go? Well, now you can have affordable satellite internet service for a few dollars a day. All you need is a mini satellite installed.
I got
and
new
you can
vitamins
have
today. See how clear
unlimited
they are?
internet connections
These taste
wirelessly
better than
in
the
your
other
home or
junk I was
office,
drinking.
and no cable boxes means unlimited
That yak
connections
tea I
and
was
no
drinking.
clutter. You can surf the internet or stream any of your favorite television services with
This
no
is like Bambi
cable.
urine.
And the best part is,
This is
satellite
Bambi
internet
urine. That
service
other
costs
stuff was
only a
yak
few
tea. Trying
dollars a
something
day
different.
for your entire home. Yes, fast internet to surf or stream television for a few bucks a day. Call now for free details and learn how to drop your expensive cable bill.
800-712-8044. 800-712-8044. 800-712-8044. That's 800-712-8044.
Having trouble getting focused? Getting your to-do list?
Yeah. It's a little lighter than
Seek ye first
the urine of a yak.
God and his righteousness, and all these things shall
It's
be
good
added
for me
unto
though.
you.
It tastes good. It's got a good flavor.
KYOK 1140 and 92.3.
Why does everything that's good for you have to taste so bad? Why is that?
It's
I can
inspiring.
never figure that out.
It's empowering.
It's life-changing.
It's called to inspire.
I'm drinking about,
Best-selling
what,
author
30
and motivational speaker,
32
Dr.
ounces of it.
Sylvia Cole. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock.
Trying to get my
here
water
on the
game up.
legendary KYOK. 1140 AM, 92.3 FM, and KYOK.org.
Hey, Entries. Hey, Jay Strong.
This is Brian Courtney Wilson, and you're listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Got a shout-out to my long-term friend, sister, and let me tell you, this woman is so bad that she had a brother driving all the way down from Dallas, Fort Worth, every Sunday to go to church with her. Antrice, you one of the baddest ones out there, man. You one of the baddest ones out there, Antrice. Big shout-out to my sister, Antrice Baggett. Also to my brother, Jay Strong. Jay, thank you for you and Deb. Thank you for your service to our country. And Jay, thank you for the commitment that you make as the chief of police in your area. I hope you saw my post today, bro. I am as equally focused on good officers and sheriffs and deputy sheriffs who lose their lives in the line of duty as I am for Black people who get brutalized and or murdered and they don't get justice. It's not one or the other for me. I am compassionate enough and have a big enough heart to know that we can fight for both at the same time. It's the bad ones, Jay. You know the deal. It's the bad ones that bro, we got to get them out of there. We got to get them out of there together. And I saw your call too about getting involved in the police force and their hiring and all that, man. In a heartbeat. Do you hear me? In a heartbeat. So I have gotten very involved with the police departments in my area. They know me by name at McCalla Station. They know me by name with the sheriff's department, the precinct in my area. And I'm there often. I'm on the phone often. They know me by name. Trying to get that same kind of relationship with Chief Aceveda, because again, I'm looking for solutions, man. I'm not trying to ruin anybody who's trying to do it right. It's the bad ones, and it's just one bad. I used to work for corporate America. It's Friday. We can do this. Freestyle Friday. I used to work in corporate America, and one of the things that I was blessed to do was take something called Six Sigma. If you're in corporate America and you're in any kind of project management, or you're over bringing something from nothing to market or something like that, you've got to take Six Sigma. At least get Six Sigma green belt certified, if not black belt certified or master black belt certified. But one of the things that one of the major corporations, Motorola, decided that their products would be no good if they had multiple errors in them. So they created a process that will allow them to have no more than 3 errors per 1 million opportunities. Check that out. Check that percentage out. No more than 3 errors per million opportunities. And not only did they figure it out, but the airline industry got involved. General Electric, that makes airplane engines, they grabbed that, because think about it. If you make an airplane engine and 10% of the engines that you make don't work, how many crashes would that be? I mean, that seems like an acceptable number. 10%, only 10% of the airplanes that you get on crash. They realized that they could not have that high a number, so they started implementing Six Sigma, and they got theirs below 3 out of every 100 million. I mean, 1 million opportunities. That's how good they were trying to make their stuff. So I'm saying that to say there are certain industries that you just cannot have that many mistakes. I mean, imagine if your doctor, 10% of the patients that your doctor performed surgery on, they all went bad. Only 10%. 90% of them go well, 10% of them go bad. That's unacceptable. I think policing is the same thing. You can't have that many people doing it wrong in that business. That needs to be a very small number. There's no way that we should have a list as long as we do of Black people who have been killed without any justice. It's too many. That number is too high. So I'm trying to find ways to work with the police department to figure out how we can de-escalate and everybody get home safely. If somebody resists arrest, then arrest them for resisting arrest. Don't kill them for resisting arrest. If somebody tries to flee, whatever the punishment is for fleeing, it's not death. Let's make sure that you capture them and you arrest them for trying to evade an officer and whatever crimes they commit. And the officers get home safely and the perpetrator has their day in court. So I know what a lot of people are saying now. You know, when I say Black Lives Matter, they say Blue Lives Matter. Yes, they both do. Both of those things can be true. Black lives can matter and blue lives can matter. But watch this. Let's just talk about this real quick. It's Freestyle Friday. When a person kills a police officer, more than likely, the person that kills the police officer is captured and tried for their crimes and usually sentenced to either death or life in prison if they're not killed in the process of being captured. But very rarely will you find a police officer who kills someone else, have them be arrested, prosecuted, and sent away, let alone face the death penalty. Very rarely. In many cases, they're not even charged. They might be investigated, but very rarely are they even charged, let alone stand trial. Those are things that we've got to fix. And we can't let the Blue Lives Matter mantra overshadow the fact that several people have been killed and got no justice. And let me not minimize death. When a police officer dies, their family is heartbroken. The community is heartbroken. The precinct is heartbroken. You cannot replace those lives. I get it. I do funerals, bro. I do funerals. I minister to grieving families. I get it. But guess what? When Black people die, even if they did everything that people typically pull up after the fact. Do you know when Bojan Jean got shot in his own home, they pulled up his criminal record? Bruh, the woman police officer killed this man in his own home, and they had the nerve to pull up his police record. That man died for being at his house. And that life cannot be replaced. And that was one of the rare cases where she was arrested, stood trial, and is now serving a sentence. So listen, we don't have to make one exclusive of the other, but don't try to make me forget about one because you want me to focus on the other. There's solutions for it all, and we got to be about finding it, okay? All right, so anybody who's interested in putting in some work, I'll meet you down at the precinct in South Park. We'll go put in some work. Anybody interested in putting in some work, I'll meet you down at McCowa Police Station and we'll put in some work. But listen, I don't just talk about it. I'm about it. I'm out there in those streets. Just because you don't see me post about everything I'm doing, it's working. It's working. And I appreciate the good officers and the good sheriffs. And I appreciate the good community leaders that are out there trying to get it done too. And they do. They cross all religious and spiritual groups. I know good Muslims out there trying to get it in. I know good AME out there trying to get in, good Baptists, good non-denominational. So, man, on this, we should not be divided. Just because I say Black Lives Matter don't mean you have to shout me down with Blue Lives Matter. They both matter. Let's fix it. Amen? All right, now, let's get back to Washington. Can we get back to Washington real quick? Ladies, here's what I want to do today, and I hope y'all don't mind. So when this all came out, you had a bunch of people posting that that's just the price that women have to pay to be in sports. I don't agree with that at all. While I understand it's probably more commonplace and normal than we know, because there are some women that don't say a word. They fight it off themselves. They deal with it. But that shouldn't be the norm. And I thought about having some of my colleagues on to talk about their experiences in sports and everything like that. But you know what? There are listeners that I have right here, right now, that have experienced sexual harassment in their workplace, in their community. Watch this, at their churches. I want to hear from you today. I want to hear from you today. 281-453-1000. 281-453-1000. Or you can text me at 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. Let's let these stories be told. These women waited a long time, not because they were trying to wait till Washington was getting ready to change their name, but they were scared. They were afraid to lose their jobs. They were afraid that no one was going to believe them. And some of them felt like, well, this just goes with the territory. And I just refuse to accept that. I refuse to accept that. And just like I'm talking about with Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter, women's lives matter. Women matter. And there are a lot of times when we as men, we focus on us so much that we don't realize that women are suffering either because of us or right by us. Men, we got to do better. We got to do better. No means no. I know that's a slogan, but it's real. No means no. And watch this. Just because there's a woman at your church or on your job or that works for you, it doesn't mean you have to shoot your shot. That right there, we always got to shoot a shot. First of all, if you're married, stop shooting your shots. If you got a girlfriend, stop shooting your shots. If you got a fiance, stop shooting your shot. You don't have a shot. You hit a shot. You hit a shot. You got a girlfriend, a whole wife, a whole fiance. Sydney called me. Let's talk about that. Sydney asked a question. When does it turn from a compliment to harassment? When she feels like it is? I believe that. I'm not just saying that. I believe that the woman has the final say in when it crosses the line. I do. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me otherwise. 281-453-1000. And men, we listen, this happened down in Carolina and the owner had to sell the team. This has been going on up in Washington and Keith Hennig says the owner is looking to sell the team. I dare say there are probably other teams and other sports in this male-dominated profession that women are suffering. Isaiah Thomas had to leave the New York Knicks over unwanted advances and approaches on a fellow, somebody that worked for him. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
This is Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney, you bring up a good question. When does it turn from a compliment to harassment? My answer is when you feel like it does. Does that make sense?
It does make sense to a certain extent.
Okay.
I think for the person that feels like it, I think something needs to be said. Because there are people that are introverts that may never say anything. So the person might genuinely be attracted to them and like them. If they are not told, I'm not interested in you, or, I don't like that, then they may not know.
Yeah, Sydney, I agree with that. Do me a favor, hold on right there. Let me take a quick break. I got, let's see, looks like 2 commercials and a jingle, and I'll be right back with you. I want to pick up right there because I think you have a point. I'll be right back with Sydney right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
I'm a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been
Michelle, I
involved
want
in a
y'all to call.
serious
Kimberly
car,
Armstrong, I
truck,
want y'all
or
to call.
motorcycle accident
Call us.
or
Let's hear
injured
it.
at work, you have
If you feel
rights,
comfortable.
and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-547-4170. 800-547-4170. 800-547-4170. That's 800-547-4170.
This is a potter's field. When people can't pay for their funerals, they are buried here. It is a lonely, desolate place.
El Michelle,
littered
tell
with
your truth
unmarked
today.
headstones.
Tell your truth.
No one visits. No one leaves
Tell your
flowers.
truth.
But it doesn't have to be that way. For as low as $1 a day, you can ensure your family will have the money to pay your funeral expenses. We offer burial insurance plans that pay up to $30,000. Considering the average funeral costs more than $10,000, that's peace of mind for your family. There are no medical exams, your rates won't increase, and your policy cannot be canceled as long as you make your premium payments. Call now to get approved in minutes and ensure your final resting place is more than just a pauper's grave in a potter's field.
800-308-6729. 800-308-6729. 800-308-6729. That's 800-308-6729.
Hey, this is Tori and Terry, and we're with a new show on the legendary KYOK called
Karen,
Marriage
come
Talk.
tell your truth
Tori
too.
and
Call
Terry.
me.
Yes, that's Saturdays at 1 p.m. Marriage Talk with us. You can call in and talk with us about your marriage questions,
We need to hear
engagement,
it. Men need
relationship
to hear
questions.
this.
We're here to assist you. Saturdays at 1 p.m.
And that's on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
Talk to you then.
Beautiful people, this is Major. This is why I love you on the lunch break.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It's Freestyle Friday. And I'm talking to Sydney Brown right now. Sydney is one of the co-owners of the championship Texas Phoenix Fire. And she brought up a very good question. When does a compliment become harassment? And Sydney, your last comment was that, that the person that feels harassed should say something first. I don't disagree with you. I think that would be helpful. I think you're absolutely right on that.
Yeah, I understand the movement and I get it. I've never felt sexual harassed because I consider myself to be a strong person. And if someone said something to me that I did not like, I wouldn't have a problem saying, hey, don't do that. So once you say that, then if it continues, then to me that's considered harassment because now you know where I stand.
Right. And Sydney, I want to just get this out there. I'm not contradicting you, but when a person can't say something right away, it doesn't mean that they're not strong. It just maybe they didn't have the words to say. Maybe they were shocked. Maybe, it just caught them off guard. I've had times when somebody said something to me and I didn't respond the way I wanted to, and it just ate me up until, I'm like, oh man, why didn't I say this? And I should have said that. And, and I do that for days, for months. So, sometimes it just catches people off guard. But I think that in the ideal world, somebody would be able to respond and say, hey, no, I'm not interested in that. I'm not here for that. I don't appreciate that. Can you do me a favor and not approach me that way? Anything that happens after that is just disrespectful and crosses the line and should be reported.
Exactly. And I didn't mean that as to because the reason I said it like that, I'm an introvert. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I know in certain points of my life, I was very quiet. And because I'm a writer, I do better by writing things down. That's my preferred way of communicating.
Okay, hopeless.
So once upon a time, if someone did something that I didn't care for, they were going to get a text message or they were going to get an email because I was more comfortable with that. But I try to look on all perspectives. And if someone is coming on to you, they may genuinely be trying to see where this can lead. And if they don't get the stop sign, they may continue. If it's never told to them in any shape, form, or fashion, they think they're just pursuing someone they like. When in someone else's eyes, it could be considered harassment.
Yeah, Sydney, but let me say this. We're just talking now to get it going. So that's why I say men don't always need to shoot their shot. Again, if I'm working with you, we're working together. It doesn't mean I get to shoot my shot if I'm attracted. Because watch this. In a way, her not saying something is saying something. Her not saying, oh yeah, let's get together, or here's my number, or let's do lunch, or if I say, hey, let's go grab lunch together, and she's always saying no, no means no. And we as men have to realize that sometimes that's just it, period, point blank, and we don't deserve anything else. She doesn't owe me an explanation on why she's saying no. I got to get it in my big fat head that's no, leave her alone.
Yeah, and I totally agree with the situation. If it's someone in an authority situation over that person's life, then that makes it even more difficult because, like you say, they then become concerned about, are they going to be able to keep their job if they say something that upsets this person? So that's a whole different situation.
Right, I agree. But sometimes coworkers can be as tense because you think, oh, now because I said something, he's gonna be, I'm gonna have a hard time dealing with him. I probably ain't gonna be able to get my job done. They're gonna be talking about me and all that. It's the environment that we create when somebody doesn't return our advances, or that we can create when somebody doesn't return our advances, that make it an environment of harassment.
That's true. That's very true.
But I appreciate your call. And I'm glad you haven't had to experience that. I really am.
Yeah.
Especially given what you do, because, you out there in this same environment that these ladies were in the NFL. You're a part owner of the Texas Phoenix Fire. I'm glad to know that folks are treating you respectfully. I pray they're doing that with everybody in the league.
Yeah, our league is a pretty good league.
Well, you tell all those phenomenal ladies and all your coaches and even the gentleman that's over the XFFL, I said thank you again for allowing me to honor y'all, man. That really meant a lot to me. I feel like I'm gaining some real good sisters and brothers from this connection.
Well, thank you. We appreciate your efforts because, it's not a lot of people that would put themselves on the line with, female football, unfortunately. I've gotten a lot of doors closed in my face because they don't understand this is real, but we appreciate you. We really do.
Well, listen, that ain't a one-time thing, so just let me know how we can collab again, okay?
Will do.
All right, thanks, Sydney. Sydney Brown, y'all. She's one of the co-owners of the Texas Phoenix Fire, of the XFFL. Y'all keep giving them some love. We'll go to another caller. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hello, this is El Michelle.
Hey, El Michelle. Now you posted
AKA Pop the Drop.
No, see, here we go. I thought you had gotten out of that.
No, I'm still there. But I have two things to what you were saying. You actually mentioned some of what my point was. Because I'm single, I get, not until recently actually, have I gotten people like being more aggressive, I'll say, towards me. But when I turn a gentleman down, they get offended and act as if I don't have a right to choose to not be interested in them. And then I turn into the B word or difficult after I say I'm just not interested. And then they continue, look at that picture you posted. Look at that. What about this? What about now? Are you interested? Now it continues. And being introverted, I've tried to, give them a chance to get the hint, but some of them just don't. So I've blocked many, and what have you. And, I've shared a couple of things posted from married men where I said, well, can I tell this to your wife? I immediately say, would you like me to let your wife know that you want to just chat with me from time to time? And so that happens more than you know. And then the second thing, because I am a musician, it doesn't just happen in the sports world. Because I'm a musician, I'm around 95% men. There's not a lot of female saxophone players and drummers and musicians that, do this all the time. And so I've had scenarios, especially in church, where male musicians, married and unmarried, would make suggestions during church, after church, in rehearsals, over time, and I would turn them down as well. But then because of those things, then they would start rumors about me. Then here comes the ridicule. After I went to an elder, a pastor, and a mother of the church and said, this is a problem, the pastor chose to sit me down and allowed the male musician to continue his post getting paid, where I was actually unpaid for over 10 years.
Wait a minute, they sat you down for 10 years?
No, I was playing there for over 10 years.
Okay, gotcha.
Sat me down as a volunteer playing my saxophone, teaching the worship team, singing on the praise team, because of the thing that I had experienced that I was hurt by, but kept the male musician on his post. Then in the city that I was in, everybody, why did you say anything about it? You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have said anything about him. See what you're causing him? See the trouble you're causing this man? But he was still on post getting paid.
See, that's the part. El Michelle joining us. She's one of the faithful lunch breakers that we have here on the show. That's the part that gets me. It's like, listen, you don't have to feel bad because you didn't want to allow yourself to be harassed. You don't have to feel bad because you don't have to accept unwanted advances, and you don't have to feel bad because you reported it. I hate that it went that way. But for those of us, and I'm putting myself in that category because I don't want to come across self-righteous, for those of us who've never walked in your shoes, we can't tell you what you should or should not have done about it, or how you should feel or not feel. And we certainly can't let us make you feel like the perpetrator is the victim.
Yes, and that's exactly what happened. And I went through ridicule and being gossiped about for over 2 years.
Well,
and still, because of that, it made me even revert back to being silent even more, because I was like, I'm reaching out to people in the church, and they're the ones talking about me.
Yeah. I again, I apologize that you went through that, El. I apologize that you were treated that way, and I know that you can empathize with these 15 ladies with the Washington football team.
Absolutely.
And they endured this for years.
Yes. And what I will say, though, What I will say, through that experience, as Sydney said, I did learn to speak up in a way that was effective and find my way of getting my point across a little more clearly, because I didn't want to go through it anymore. And I wanted to be an example of standing up for being wronged in that way.
See, and that's the thing. It's like you got to go through the ups and downs. We have no idea how this affected you when you were behind closed doors. We have no idea how this affected you around other people that you wanted to be around. And then you literally have to find the courage to stand up and have a voice. That's unfair. That's just not right.
Yes, and it was a hard journey, but I'm here now, and I want to do all I can to help those who have been through similar. So thank you for hearing my story.
Well, I thank you for sharing your truth. I know that wasn't easy, but thank you for getting it out right here on the lunch break.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. El Michelle, man, very, very heartbroken. I mean, we need to hear this. And watch this, and some ladies need to hear it as well, because, you know, we're in a different time now. So no means no. I don't care if it's man to woman. I don't care if it's woman to woman. I don't care if it's man to man. No means no. If they're not interested, they're not interested. It's not I stuck with it until I wore them down. Bruh, sister, is that how you want to be with somebody, that you wore them down? I mean, listen, I got to take a break with Sybil Wilkes, and then I'll come back. I want to read this story from the Washington NFL team. But please hit me up, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000. Karen Gibson, we want to hear from you as well. I see your posts. Let us hear your story if you don't mind. Again, we'll be right back after Sybil Wilkes right here on the lunch break.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today about the coronavirus. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp issued an order last night that bars local governments from issuing face covering mandates. Officials in at least 15 Georgia cities and counties, including Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, had ordered the wearing of masks during the coronavirus pandemic. As Senate Republicans prepare to roll out their next COVID-19 aid bill, Senator Chuck Schumer of New York says he wants to shift $350 billion from an untapped Treasury Department virus relief program to help Black Americans and other people of color during the pandemic and beyond. Another 1.3 million people have filed first-time jobless claims last week in the United States, according to the Department of Labor. And more than 137,000 people have died because of COVID-19 in the U.S., and there are over 3.5 million confirmed cases. Please visit SybilWilkes.com to subscribe to my free daily newsletter. Be informed, be empowered.
Hey, what's up? This your boy James Fortune, and you are listening to The Lunch Break. Keep it locked.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Freestyle Friday, and if you have not heard, there were 15 women that were members of the Washington NFL football team staff, and they all came together and reported situations of sexual harassment. 15 women leveled accusations of a culture of sexual harassment and misconduct that reached upper management with Washington's NFL team under Daniel Snyder's leadership. Snyder is not accused of any harassment. He is accused of fostering a hostile work environment. And the allegations span from 2006 to 2019. Snyder purchased the team back in 1999, and he declined multiple requests for comments. Bro, that's under your watch. I'm sorry. You. If it's ongoing investigation, at least say, I cannot comment because of ongoing investigations. But this is under your watch. You cannot plead no contest and not say a word. These women deserve to be spoken up for by the person that is in the highest position in the organization that they worked for. If nothing else, make a statement that, you feel bad that the ladies went through that from, 2006 to 2019. Again, I know it's a different time, but where is common decency? Where is the old easy to write media relations department? Hey, I have a wife. I have daughters. I've got sisters. My mother. I'm shocked. I am upset, and I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Can you at least give it one of those? No comment? Now you got no comment. You got comments about everything else. You ain't got no comment on this? Let me hit the top of the hour.
1140 KYOK Conroe. The legend continues.
Views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio,
I was coming back
sponsors,
to you.
Staff, or management.
Walk out on that field today. Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. We ready. We ready. We ready. We ready. Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's go. Let's hunt. We ready. Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap.
Yeah, I got to open this door.
Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from that. He's a man. He can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. Guess who I did?
What y'all know about them Grambling State Tigers?
Send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready. Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, Freestyle Friday. We're dealing with the situation going on with the NFL Washington football team where 15 women accuse the organization of fostering an environment of sexual harassment and other things. So let me go back to the phone line. We got another caller. Hello, you're live on the air. Who's this?
Hi, AJ. This is Karen. How are you?
KG, what it do, baby? How you doing?
Well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing much better today than I was yesterday. And for those who don't know, Karen Gibson is my homegirl. She's from Akron, Ohio, and I'm from that natty. So, you know, when I come at her like, what it do, baby? That's just because we home people. We go like that, okay?
Absolutely.
You have a story to tell.
Actually, I do. I've shared this with some people. When I was a graduate student, I had a professor, a female professor, and she would always give us our exams back and then go over the answers to the exam. And we would, go back and check and see what we got correct or incorrect. And I would always have these correct answers that were marked incorrect. And then she would announce to the class, if you have a question about your exam, pass them back to her and then make an appointment to see her during her office hours. Well, her office hours were always 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening. And that's the time where campus is cleared out from the daytime and, graduate people come in the evening, or people that are going to school in the evening would come in the evening, but it would be very few people there on campus in that particular building.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always make my appointment. I would always go, And then she started doing things like having coffee waiting for me or tea. Well, I asked around and I heard that you like tea. So I had some tea while we would go over the exam. And I would look kind of funny, like, wow, why would, she do that? Me not getting it. This is my professor, right?
Right.
And so then she would say, well, let me close the door. Well, she had this cracker box office, and then she wanted to come sit next to me and sit close while we went over the exams. Well, that wasn't necessary because you sit behind your desk and I'll sit on the other side. Well, you take care of business and I'm gone. So this started happening every single time we had an exam. And so, I didn't say anything because, first of all, this was my professor. I was a graduate student. We were all supposed to be grown.
Right.
She was the only one who taught specific classes. And as a graduate student, I had to take those classes. So I didn't want to rock the boat. And then I endured it because I was the only African-American graduate student in that program.
Wow.
So, here we are 30 odd years later, and I'm looking at it sideways like, wow, that woman really harassed me.
And see, that's that environment. That's that now you got to deal with the pressure of trying to graduate, get your grad degree, pass tests and term papers and all that, in addition to trying to move around this nonsense.
Absolutely. And it was very stressful because I always, figured, well, she didn't really mean that. I would talk myself out of it. She didn't really mean that. No, you just tripping. It's the stress of you being the only Black one there. But it wasn't that. It was that she was using her position to impose herself upon me and take advantage of me.
And that's the part that's just that's where it becomes sexual harassment. She had authority over you and could have affected your ability to get what you were there for, and that's unacceptable. There are laws against that. But, again, I'm not going to speak for you, but did you feel comfortable reporting that to someone thinking that it would all work out all right?
Absolutely not. Because like I said, I had so many other constraints, going on, meaning there were, I think, about 45 graduate students between the master's program and the PhD program, and I'm the only Black one there.
Yeah.
So I had to carry that burden, to always prove that I was just as worthy to be there as anybody else.
Yeah.
And then dealing with that issue and getting through the program was this sexual thing on top of it.
Yeah. Taisha Charles said she knew what she was doing. And Treese Baggett said this is not an isolated incident. El Michelle said she sure did. She knew what she was doing. And again, my friend, hear me when I say I hate to know that you had to endure that. I hate to know that while you should have been happy about getting your degree, you had to deal with all that as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
And, it's my thing to talk to, or I try to talk to young women who are going to college to let them know that they don't have to take these kinds of things. Yes, these things may happen, whether it be with a male or a female. And hey, 35, 40 years ago, it wasn't cool for a female professor to push up on another female student. It wasn't as, I don't say cool, it wasn't as acceptable. But those things happen even then. So, I always try to encourage them to guard yourself. If it feels uncomfortable or if it feels wrong, it is wrong.
Yeah, I'm laughing because watch this, and I hope I don't offend anybody because I want people to know my heart. Whether it was acceptable back then or not, you didn't want it. Period. So even though it's more acceptable now, you have every right to say no. No, I'm not good with it. I'm not good with it. KG, I hate to do it. I'm up against a break. Let me take this break, and we'll talk to you later, my friend. I'll be praying for you.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Great day.
You too. We'll be right back with more right after this.
Have you been diagnosed with cancer? Are you one of the millions who have taken Zantac or other generic versions of this popular drug to help treat stomach issues? Then pay close attention to this message. The FDA said it detected low levels of a probable cancer-causing chemical known as NDMA in Zantac and other generic forms of this popular drug. They've banned sales and even removed it from the market. If you've been diagnosed with cancer and you've taken Zantac or a generic equivalent, call the legal helpline now. You could receive a free cash award and have your medical expenses covered. And there's no upfront cost to you. They only get paid if you win. So please call now. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. 800-251-7816. That's 800-251-7816.
If you are trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-961-2730. 800-961-2730. That's 800-961-2730.
I'm Linda J. We all know Election Day is just around the corner. We want change. We need change. We can be the change. Exercise your right for change on Election Day. Don't talk about it. Let's be about it. So let's roll to the polls in record numbers and we can make that change. This message is approved by KYOK 1140 AM, 92.3 FM, and KYOKradio.org.
Having trouble getting focused? Getting your to-do list done?
Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
KYOK 1140 and 92.3.
It's inspiring. It's empowering.
It's life-changing.
It's called to inspire with best-selling author and motivational speaker, Dr. Sylvia Cole. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock here on the legendary KYOK, 1140 AM, 92.3 FM, and KYOK.org.
Hi, this is TJ from South Park. I listen to the lunch break with AJ Jones on 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones, talking to our listeners who have experienced what these 15 ladies who worked for the NFL football team in Washington have experienced and reported on yesterday. And I just got to tell you, I wanted these stories to get out so people can see, like one of my dear friends said, Antrice Baggett, these are not isolated incidents. This happens far too often and needs to be called out. Hello, you're live on the lunch break. Who's this?
Hey, AJ, it's Keith, man.
Hey, Keith.
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. How about you?
Man, I'm real good. I have not dealt with this firsthand in terms of being harassed or sexually harassed, but I certainly wanted to extend my sincere thoughts out to those women who have expressed those concerns, either via your social media threads or even on this line today, because it just brings back a stark reminder of how evil and cruel A lot of people can be in this world. And, you know, I had a friend of mine text last night and said, in a joking manner, you know, 2020 has been such a terrible ride. I'm asking at the next stop to let me out and let me out of the car. And I replied back, not me, because while it's been a tough ride and a rough ride, I actually am glad to ride this ride all the way through, because it's revealing a lot of painful conversations that most of us have just been riding and hoping that we never get to discover or talk about it. But it's revealing also the true character of a lot of people in this country. And so for me, I think 2020 is just, in the same vein, talking about the Washington Redskins, it's just continuing to reveal just how wicked a lot of these GMs, owners, it's really sad. Because when you think about Dan Snyder, when you look at that team and you ask yourself, how does he run a billion-dollar company, but there's no HR in place? Like,
that part.
Is that intentional? You know, like, do you not have that because you know you're going to continue to be lascivious in all of your behaviors? Because if that's the case, then obviously I think there's going to be a lot more things coming down the pike about. Now, just imagine, it's only 15, right, that are coming out.
Right.
Just imagine the ones that are not, you know?
And that's the thing, Keith, when you have no systems of checks and balances, you have no, you know, just reasonable way for people to report bad behavior in the workplace, you open yourself up to those kind of speculations. If somebody who nothing happened to comes out now and says that it did, you have no way of saying it didn't, because you need to have a process in place to track people that report stuff like that.
You know, that part, and then here's the other thing that I'm anxious to see take place, right? You just mentioned earlier that how is it that a coach is having to make a new coach at that, who just got in position, is having to make a statement about the name change as well as now these new allegations, but yet the owner of the team has not had a media department to come out and say, I vehemently deny these attacks, and you know, we're going to do whatever we can to protect them. None of that, and it's just mind blowing to me again. And well, it really again just highlights the fact that 2020 again is just a pivotal point in which it's highlighting all of the wrongs and can you just imagine how many other NFL owners who may have been in this situation, right? They're trying to cover up this more, or right now going, oh my gosh, we need to figure out what we're going to do and how we're going to respond. So my last part, and I'll leave you alone, man, is that I cannot wait for this complete investigation to continue to go on, and I can't wait to hear what Roger Goodell has to say about this. One of his buddies and his friends and one of his own owners was, let's face it, in his silence, is complicit in allowing for sexual misconduct within his organization and harassment. I can't wait to hear what he has to say about that.
Well, Keith, let me just say this. One, you don't ever have to worry about leaving me alone, bro, because I appreciate you. Number two, let's chop this up real quick. What did he say about Robert Kraft? I'm just looking for that statement. I really am looking, bro. I just Googled Roger Goodell's statement on Robert Kraft. I got nothing. All I got is the story of Robert Kraft, but I got no statements.
You see, I'm laughing, bro, because exactly. He is going to be consistent about that, and that is his billionaire friends will continue to get passes while, you know, your millionaire players, or some of them 100,000 players, will continually get, you know, they'll get fined, they'll get penalized, and the league will get richer while his billionaire friends continue to get off. And what's crazy is his billionaire friends are causing way more harm to others than these players are to others. And that's a disgrace.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Brother, it's always great to talk to you, man. Have a wonderful weekend. God bless.
God bless you too, Keith. Always a good call with him. Keith is always a good call And he's right. Listen, I got a colleague, Mike Freeman, who writes for Bleacher Report, New York Times, Washington Post. He's ex-Army, and he was a pilot. Wow, love it. Mike Freeman said, and let me find it. I'm still looking. Man, Mike Freeman posts a lot. Okay, here we go. Here it is. He said, what will happen in Washington? Number one, an investigator will find toxic culture existed. Number two, the investigator will say remedied with departures of the misogynistic goons. Number three, the investigator will offer flaccid suggestions on how to fix the culture. Number four, the team will be fired. Wait a minute, the team will be fined. I ruined this. Can I start over? Let me run this back. Number one, investigator will find toxic culture existed. Number two, investigator will say remedied with departures of the misogynistic goons. Number three, the investigator will offer flaccid suggestions on how to fix the culture. Number four, the team will be fined. Number five, Snyder will skate. He's probably right. Let me tell you why he's probably right. Because this Washington team is the same one that had cheerleaders talking about being sexually harassed and sent to private parties and having to perform for VIP and season ticket holders. What happened to them? You got history. You didn't find anybody back then. You didn't fire anybody back then. You didn't make some big statement back then. Guess what? They kept doing it. They just moved off of cheerleaders and start preying on the employees. Roger Goodell has to do something more than make a statement. He got to do something more than that. He didn't make a statement on Robert Kraft. Robert Kraft was involved in illegal behavior that was sexually related for money. You got to do something about that. You do something about every time a player gets caught for drinking and driving or has an abusive situation with their wife or gets caught carrying a gun. Plaxico Burress got put out of the league because he carried a gun into a restaurant in the wrong place to carry a gun in a restaurant. You can't do that in New York City. You can't do that in New York City. And he shot himself. Plaxico Burress served time and was put out of the league for a period of time. I mean, we will never know the details of what went on in that massage parlor with Robert Kraft because number one, that his attorney made them throw out evidence like the video. And number two, they didn't get deep into it because the owner of the parlor has friends in high places, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and others. Oh, she had receipts. She had pictures. Washington is probably not going to get hit hard on this one. Got to take a break. I'll be right back. Waiting on more of your calls. 281-453-1000.
You're a diabetic. You need supplies, but you don't want to visit the pharmacy. What do? Call US Med for home delivery of your supplies. If you have diabetes and you're worried about going to a crowded pharmacy, pick up the phone in the safety and comfort of your home and let US Med deliver them to you with free shipping. And now if you test your blood sugar 4 more times a day and inject insulin 3 or more times a day, you may qualify to get a new continuous glucose monitor at little or no cost, which may eliminate the pain of pricking your fingers
and helps you make smarter diabetes decisions. Plus, we'll send you a 90-day supply and bill your insurance company for you. Get some peace of mind. Call US Med today.
800-417-0851. 800-417-0851. That's 800-417-0851.
How'd you like to eliminate your expensive cable bill forever or get new satellite internet where cable can't go? Well, now you can have affordable satellite internet service for a few dollars a day. All you need is a mini satellite installed, and you can have unlimited internet connections wirelessly in your home or office. And no cable boxes means unlimited connections and no clutter. You can surf the internet or stream any of your favorite television services with no cable. And the best part is, satellite internet service costs only a few dollars a day for your entire home. Yes, fast internet to surf or stream television for a few bucks a day. Call now for free details and learn how to drop your expensive cable bill.
800-712-8044. 800-712-8044. 800-712-8044. That's 800-712-8044.
Having trouble getting focus? Getting your to-do list done?
Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
KYOK 1140 and 92.3.
It's inspiring. It's empowering.
It's life-changing.
It's called to inspire with best-selling author and motivational speaker, Dr. Sylvia Cole. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock here on the legendary KYOK, 1140 AM, 92.3 FM, and KYOK.org.
Hey, what's going on? This is Lecrae, and right now you're listening to The Lunch Break.
All right, y'all. Back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. My phone is blowing up. I mean, blowing up. So I'll try and read some of those posts real quick. But let me read more from the story if I can. And what just happened? Of course, the story went away. Why did it go away? Why did it go away? Let's see. Let's go back. Let's go here. Probably got it open. Okay, so again, this was written by Jason Owens. Jason's been on the show once. Got to have him back. Got to have Jason back. 15 women level allegations of a culture of sexual harassment and misconduct that reached upper management with Washington's NFL team under Dan Snyder's ownership. Snyder is not accused of harassment. He is accused of fostering a work environment, hostile work environment. And the allegations span from 2006 to 2019. Snyder purchased the team in 1999. We're going to party like, Dan, that was a song, bro. That wasn't a real deal. Like, see, that's why you can't let certain people do things. They take it too far. You can't party like it's 1999, Dan. He declined multiple requests for comment, according to the Post. A young lady by the name of Julia Payne said, and I quote, "I have never been in a more hostile, manipulative, passive-aggressive environment, and I worked in politics." And she was the vice president of communications. So let that sink in for a second. This is not, and I'm not trying to minimize anybody's position. This is not some administrative assistant or clerk or mailroom assistant or anything. This is the vice president of what? Vice president of communications. She's the one that tells it. Good God, what in the world? Payne worked for the team in 2003. She was an assistant press secretary for Bill Clinton. Emily Applegate, a 31-year-old former marketing coordinator, went on the record to detail her accusation, calling working for the team, and I quote, "the most miserable experience of my life," end quote. The other 14 women spoke to the Post anonymously, citing fear of legal retribution after some of them sign non-disclosure agreements. I wanted to get to that part. That's where we who call ourselves sensitive and caring and all lives matter, stop posting stuff and do something. There should be laws to stop someone from signing a non-disclosure agreement on something that has not been properly investigated and or litigated. Oh, but no, AJ, if you didn't have that, then the courts would be overrun with felonious cases and lawsuits and blah, 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 blah. That is part of the atmosphere of harassment. When somebody who is able to throw enough money at the problem and make it go away and then slap a non-disclosure agreement on it is the one making the decision, that means the person signing it has no power. I'm sure they didn't put that in front of the women and say, hey, listen, we're real sorry that this happened to you. If you'll just sign right here and initial here, we're going to make sure that these people never do this to you again. And oh yeah, don't say anything about it because we don't want you to have to go through the embarrassment of what they did to you. That's not what they said. There's a good chance that they threatened these people. How do you know? Because they're afraid to say something. You don't get afraid to say something when somebody says they're going to take care of you and don't worry about it. If you sign right here, we're going to make sure that they never bother you again. You get afraid when they say, and if you say something, we're going to sue you. You're going to lose your job. You'll never work in this industry again. We're going to drag your name through the mud. This is going to get ugly if you say something. That's what non-disclosure agreements get to when they're on that level and for that reason. It's not right. It's not fair. Women's lives have to matter too. Somebody, Dan Snyder, and this is why I don't know if he should get off scot clean with this. Who else in that building had the power to sign non-disclosure agreements to have these women be quiet? Who else in that building had that authority? From 2006 to 2019. Sounds like Dan Snyder to me. Oh, yo, Dan, hey, we gave out $40,000 to, Betty down in accounting. Why? Well, she had a little problem. She had a little problem with Art. What Art do this time? Oh, Art being boys will be boys. All right, did you make it go away? Yeah. 40,000? Yeah. All right. Non-disclosure? Yeah. Okay. No problem. We're good. Tell me about the team. Who we drafted? That's complicit. He is complicit. He is involved in it. I don't care if it's on that level. If he didn't drag Art down to HR and say, listen, snatch his badge, get his card keys, get his American Express, and get him out of the building. And oh yeah, by the way, call our attorney. Come on, man. Who else in that building? Who else in that building had the authority to sign non-disclosure agreements? I'm sorry. That's what, follow the money. Follow the money. That's what you do. You follow the money. Okay, so who could approve? In most corporations, you have levels of approval. I can sign for this amount. You can sign for that amount. If we're both in the room, you sign it and I sign off on it. Who could sign for the amounts of the level that these women had to sign off for? Whoever that is, find them. Threaten them with litigation because they're going to give up whoever signed off on what they did. If the NFL is real serious about it, get those same investigators that you used to go after Ezekiel Elliott. You remember the investigators that went after Ezekiel Elliott? The ones that were better than the police officers and the prosecutors and the district attorneys in Columbus, Ohio. Remember? The police officers, the prosecutors, and the district attorneys in Columbus said, we don't have enough evidence to charge. The investigators for the NFL found all kinds of evidence. Get those same people to dig into Dan Snyder and Washington and see what they come up with. We got non-disclosures. Great. Let's see whose name is on that. Where's Bill? Who's Bill? Get me Bill. Oh, Bill doesn't work for us anymore. Good. Get me a forwarding address. I'm going to see Bill. Oh, I don't have it. You sent a last check somewhere. Give me the wire that you transferred the money to his account. I'll call the bank. They've got banking and residential information there. I need Bill's information. Pull his W-2. Let me get his last known address. Oh, we don't have that. What kind of outfit are you running here? Is this not a multi-billion-dollar organization? You don't have W-2s on file? Follow the money. Hey, Bill. AJ, I'm a licensed investigator for the NFL. We're checking into the sexual harassment at Washington. We understand you signed off on several of these non-disclosure agreements. Hey, who gave you the authority to do that, Bill? You don't remember? Well, hey, Bill, I remember my way down to the police station, and I remember their phone number. I'm about to call them right now because there are women that are claiming your signature allowed them to get sexually harassed. That's a crime. Making this phone call right now. Who again gave you the authority to sign off on those? Oh, okay. Where's he? Where's he live? If Roger Goodell doesn't do this level of investigation, if you go harder after Ezekiel Elliott, if you go harder after Josh Gordon, if you go harder after pick somebody, Antonio Brown, then you will go after one of your boys, you don't need the job, bro. Now I know nobody's going to fire you because, the people that put you in place, you're covering up for. It's crazy. 3 recently departed employees among the high-level team employees named in the report were play-by-play man, senior vice president, and a chief content officer, Larry Michael, director of pro personnel, Alex Santos, and his top scouting assistant, Richard Mann II, all of whom left the team in July. I told David Grubb the other day, I said, David, Dan Snyder firing them, to me, smells. It had something to do. I thought it had something to do with the name change and that they were saying some, those naughty jokes that you say behind closed doors, and somebody got it out and Dan's like, yo, you're fired. We're not doing that anymore. But it turns out, these guys were part of the bad behavior. Kimberly Armstrong says, I bet you more women are going to come forward. I believe it. Donna Coleman Holman, Dan and Don are buddies. The Billionaire Boys Club. Exactly. Epstein and his assistant have plenty of names that folks don't want to get out. They have friends in high places. So let me read the rest of this. This guy, Larry Michael, who had called games on the team's radio broadcast for 16 years, resigned on Wednesday. Santos and Mann were fired last week. Former president of business operations, Dennis Green, and former chief operating officer, Mitch Gershman, were also named in the report. Why are they free? Why are they free to just walk away? What's up with the laws in D.C.? How'd that work? And they're not in D.C. Aren't they in Virginia? How's that work? When I worked in banking, when I worked in in corporate America. I had to take all these sexual harassment courses and online classes and stuff like that. Had to watch all that and had to sign my life away after I was done watching it. Never forget, I got called in one time. Me and another brother got called in one time by a young lady, and she didn't like the way we joked with her. And I mean, I was scared for my life. I thought I was going to lose my job. And I remember the guy was saying, yo, man, she don't even look like somebody I would do that to. No, bro, that's not how it works. We're about to get fired. I don't care what she looks like. We got to quit joking. And hear me when I say, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I got to search myself. You know, it's no means no. Not everybody in your space is there for you to shoot your shot at them. And leave people alone. Just let them work, or let them be on your team, or let them go about their business. Good Lord. I don't know. Let's see. The women claimed that they were victims of relentless sexual harassment and verbal abuse. The media outlet described a bare-bones system for reporting harassment that involved one full-time human resources staffer and no formal reporting processes. That's what Keith was talking about. Their HR department probably looked more like a broom closet than it did like a HR office. In addition to the former employees, 2 reporters who covered the team accused Santos of sexual harassment. Rhiannon Walker filed a complaint against Santos, accused her of pinching her and telling her she has a rear end like a wagon. What in the world? Guys, are we just dragging our knuckles on the ground? Are we making fire out of flint? What are we doing? That's what we're doing now? We're pinching rear ends and calling out body parts with. It's the same thing as Jerry Richardson to me. Nora Princiati, a reporter for The Ringer who covered the team for Washington in 2017, told the Post that Santos repeatedly approached her in his SUV while she was walking and commenting on her appearances. He told me I had a great rear end for a little white girl. The general sentiment was that I should wear less clothing. Bruh. This guy's out of control. And the thing about it is, if somebody had gone home and told their husband or their boyfriend or their brother or their dad, and they came down there and just punched this guy in the mouth, they would have been in trouble because Washington didn't know how to fix its trouble. People shouldn't have to go and deal with all that. I got to take a break. The whole show is about to be over. I'll run down some sports when I come back for the break. I said, listen, I spent an hour and 45 minutes on the life in sports, and I'll do scores and highlights and updates for 15 because this is ridiculous. In the words of Melania Trump, Dan Snyder, be best.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-547-4170. 800-547-4170. 800-547-4170. That's 800-547-4170.
This is a potter's field. When people can't pay for their funerals, they are buried here. It is a lonely, desolate place, littered with unmarked headstones. No one visits. No one leaves flowers. But it doesn't have to be that way. For as low as $1 a day, you can ensure your family will have the money to pay your funeral expenses. We offer burial insurance plans that pay up to $30,000. Considering the average funeral costs more than $10,000, that's peace of mind for your family. There are no medical exams, your rates won't increase, and your policy cannot be canceled as long as you make your premium payments. Call now to get approved in minutes and ensure your final resting place is more than just a pauper's grave in a potter's field.
800-308-6729. 800-308-6729. 800-308-6729. That's 800-308-6729. Paid for by Final Expense Direct.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? Quick Cash Offer can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents and risking your safety by showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your home to foreclosure. If you have any equity in your home, we will buy it and give you cash within days, all in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call Quick Cash Offer now before the economy gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just don't want to get the cash you need today.
800-780-1431. 800-780-1431. 800-780-1431. That's 800-780-1431.
Hey, this is Tori and Terry, and we're with a new show on the legendary KYOK called Marriage Talk with Tori and Terry.
Yes, that's Saturdays at 1 p.m. Marriage Talk with us. You can call in and talk with us about your marriage questions, engagement, relationship questions. We're here to assist you. Saturdays at 1 p.m.
And that's on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM.
Hi, this is Sonia from Southeast Houston, and you're listening to The Lunch Break on 92.3 and KYOK.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. I'm AJ Jones. Been talking about Washington NFL football team and sexual harassment been going on there. 2006, 2009, they had several people that just didn't know how to mind their business and, calling people out, pinching them and doing stuff had no business being, and what's interesting is I dare say, like somebody else says, that there's probably a lot more people out there and some other stories that just haven't been told yet. So we'll see how the NFL handles it. Roger Goodell, to me, is on notice. J.J. Watt took the NFL to task yesterday on Twitter. He says, and I quote, "In the interest of having everyone on the same page in terms of what we know and what we don't at this time, here are a few things I learned being on 4 NFL Players Association calls in the last 2 weeks with hundreds of other players. Keep in mind, our rookies are scheduled to report in 48 hours." And this is yesterday. He says, "Here's what we know and don't know. Number 1, we want to play. Number 2, we want to be as safe as possible. Number 3, we have not received a single valid infectious disease emergency response from any team or the league. Number 4, we don't know if there's going to be a preseason games or not. Number 5, we don't know if there will be daily testing, semi-daily testing, etc. Number 6, we don't know how a potential positive COVID test will affect contracts, roster spots, etc. Number 7, nothing has been agreed upon regarding what training camp will actually look like and how the ramp-up period will work. And number 8, we want to play." And of course, people got on J.J. Watt. JJ, can I read the one that got me? Wait a minute. Here we go. John Nusero, got to say his name. JJ, bottom line is 99% of the people who need to work won't have the safeguards that you will. If you are blessed to be in a financial situation where you don't have to work and you're concerned, then don't play. We will get over it. Can we stop, please? Can we please stop? Please? Please stop. Stop. The players have a right to be concerned. The amount of money that they make does not waive their right to be concerned about their health and livelihood. It's just ridiculous to think that they should just go out there because they make so much money and do what? Entertain us. Yeah, they're going to get paid a lot of money for that. But they're allowed to be concerned. Some people, money is not all that makes the world go around. Some of them care about their health, their families, their grandmothers at home, their children, their wives, their brothers. I mean, come on. I still don't, this is one thing I don't get. If a global pandemic can't make us care about one another, what will? What? We don't care about people who don't have on masks. We don't care about people who do. We don't care about stores that say you got to wear a mask. We get mad at the people who want to send their kids to school with no mask. We don't care about sending the kids to school. Wait a minute. You got people who are on conference calls, video conference calls, talking about sending kids to physical schools. They're not even meeting in person. They're on a video conference call and they're talking about sending kids to a physical school. What is it going to take for people to care beyond what we think should be important? Oh, well, Adrian, if they don't want to play, don't let them play. But you know what? He's allowed to say something about it. The rookies are going to report in 48 hours. It's now less than 48 hours. You don't think they should have some say in what's going on? Some know-how? Some what? What are we doing? I don't know, man. I'm literally, when does the rocket ship leave for Pluto? I need me a ticket. I need me a ticket. This one right here ain't working no more. Y'all can have the Earth. Y'all got it. Y'all, I give. Pluto, please. One way. I'll go be the first black man on Pluto. We might got a shot there on Pluto. Pluto has a black nose and a black tail. I might have a shot at Pluto. Y'all can have, there's a lot of planets between here and Earth. By the time y'all get to me, I will have found a wormhole. I'll be in a whole nother galaxy by the time y'all get out there to Pluto. Are they setting up any more Hubble space telescopes? I'm riding on it. I'm riding on it. I literally, I'm starting to have more faith in I can get on that space satellite, space telescope and make it to Pluto safely than I have of us getting together on something. A global pandemic won't do it. Kids going to school won't do it. People losing their lives won't do it. Millions of folks having a virus won't do it. People getting knelt on for more than 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Did you see the video yesterday? That man was on his neck for more than 8:46. And people can't even agree on that. Well, you know, he got all these bad things in his past. I'm down for Pluto. I'm going to start the Pluto missionary, the First Missionary Baptist Church of Pluto. You know how they have First Baptist and Second Baptist, First United Methodist. I'm going to start the First Plutonian Church. You ain't a member, we can't take you in. Listen, if you can't social distance, you can't come, you can't cross our borders. I'm taking a satellite dish with me too, so I can beam in y'all's football. Think I'm going up there and not watch JJ Watt get off on y'all because y'all done made him mad? Jesus. All right, let me read the last of these sports updates because good God almighty. What else is it? James Harden finally got cleared to play. He worked out with the Rockets yesterday. They said that he would be ready for the first preseason game, which will be July 24th, when the Rockets take on Toronto. So he'll be ready to go. The Rockets sued an insurance company. Tillman Fertitta said they denied a $400 million COVID business interruption claim. Now, y'all know Tillman Fertitta took out a payday loan for billionaires, and I think it was $350 million. And I think he agreed to something like 15% interest on it. Tillman trying to find a way to pay that loan. That insurance company might be right, they might be wrong, but Tillman is trying to find a way to pay off that loan. I know what he's doing. So anyway, they're in trouble. Coach Greg Popovich is in mid-season form when a reporter via video, let me be different. When a reporter via video asked how sharp the players looked in workouts, Coach Pop said, "What do you expect? It's not like they haven't been in the midst of a global pandemic." Next question. I love Coach Pop. The Spurs are going to host Sacramento on July 31st at 7. All right, y'all, let me get Sybil Wilkes in here to do her thing, and then I'm going to wrap this one up. This has been a show for the ages. If y'all can find some discount tickets to Pluto, I need one. I just need one. I ain't taking nobody with me. I'll be right back.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know today about the coronavirus. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp issued an order last night that bars local governments from issuing face covering mandates. Officials in at least 15 Georgia cities and counties, including Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, had ordered the wearing of masks during the coronavirus pandemic. As Senate Republicans prepare to roll out their next COVID-19 aid bill, Senator Chuck Schumer of New York says he wants to shift $350 billion from an untapped Treasury Department virus relief program to help Black Americans and other people of color during the pandemic and beyond. Another 1.3 million people have filed first-time jobless claims last week in the United States, according to the Department of Labor. And more than 137,000 people have died because of COVID-19 in the U.S., and there are over 3.5 million confirmed cases. Please visit SybilWilkes.com to subscribe to my free daily newsletter. Be informed, be empowered.
All right, y'all, gotta get ready to wrap it up. My good friend and sister, Antrice Baggett, said, "I'm sending my daughter to Pluto with you." You know my goddaughter can come to Pluto with me, but she gotta bring her baby. She gotta bring Honeybee. She sure does. Don't try to play me. You know the deal. So I need 3 tickets. I can't take my kids with me because, I got a son that he's one of those ones. He would rather go stand in traffic than not be able to talk. So he gonna talk the whole trip. So I'll just call him. I'll FaceTime him from Pluto. So there you go. Hey, listen, I got to get ready to go. Donnie McClurkin's up next with the Donnie McClurkin Show. He'll give you the best in gospel music, latest in the gospel music industry. Donnie does his thing Monday through Friday from 2 to 3. Over the weekend, you got Marriage Talk. You got Angel Lewis with her show. You got Jesse Jackson, Keep Hope Alive. You got Walt Baby Love with gospel tracks all over the weekend. And then on Monday, you got Erica Campbell and Griff, Get Up Mornings. Then your boy will be back with my guy, David Grubb, with from Hard and Paint. We'll be back for Media Monday. And what's crazy is next week, we're going to have some professional sports. Astros play baseball next Friday, the 24th. They'll be taking on Seattle. The Rangers will take on Colorado. All that's next week. So finally, have some sports. I think the Rockets first preseason game, is next week as well. All right, so here we go. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But for Christ's sakes, can you wear a mask? Can you wash your hands for 30 seconds or more? And can you sanitize everything around you? And do me a favor, be sensitive to people around you. At least give them 6 feet, especially if you ain't wearing no mask. And then, of course, here's my last thing. When you see that racism, kill it. Not the person, not the people, the racism. Kill it. Please. We can do this, y'all. Y'all be safe. Have a blessed weekend.
Could it be that God wants us to get the understanding that He's already fixed our situation even before we got in?
All right, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Ladies that called in today, I really want to appreciate y'all. I know that wasn't easy. So y'all do me a favor and just know that we are thinking about you. We are praying for you. We are sorry that you had to go through those incidents, and you didn't have to go through them, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry that they even happened to you. I pray that things definitely get better for you. And just know, if there's ever anything I can do for you, if it's a listening ear or, go and help you face your accusers or whatever, I'm down for it all. I'm about solutions. I really want to be about solutions. I want to move beyond posting and talking about it. I know it means something to use this platform for it, but if there's ever anything else we can do, let me know and we'll get it done. Okay? All right. As always, not this, definitely this. Y'all take care. Be blessed. All right?